Nice to see you, Liz. It's great to be here.
Great to have you. The superlatives used to describe not just your earnings, but your outlook ranged from, I was writing these down, full steam, full throttle, incredible. But the headline really emerges that you guys have a problem most CEOs would love to have. Demand for two of your products, right? Both your Hopper chip and the orders for your new Blackwell chip far exceed the supply you have. What's the most important step you guys are taking to speed up the process to fill these orders?
Well, first of all, I appreciate that. Hopper and Blackwell are two just magnificent computing systems. And what they've done is these two computing systems has really reinvented computing altogether. From software that was written by humans running on CPUs to now machine learning, creating these neural networks that make possible artificial intelligence running on our GPUs. And so as the world modernizes the data centers, $1 trillion of data centers around the world, the demand is just incredible. Mm-hmm. And so we're ramping both of these platforms incredibly hard. We had a record quarter this last quarter. We guided to a record quarter next quarter. We're going to go from $0 billion of Blackwell to many billions of dollars of Blackwell. And so it's going to be an incredible thing, but the demand is just incredible.
Yeah. I'm so interested to know some numbers. How big is the backlog for, I guess, both the Hopper and the Blackwell system, the successor that a lot of people want to see? Are you seeing any customer behavior, Jensen, that says, you know what, we're going to wait for the newer Blackwell model?
Well, people are modernizing their data centers, and so they just needs to get going. And what I advise people to do is that, and they are doing that, which is we're going to create new systems every single year. Buy what you need that year. There'll be something new that you can buy next year. And then you'll just cost average your way through. The reason why it's cost averaging is if we increase the performance every single year, effectively you're reducing your cost for any amount of computation that you want. Instead of the classical old data centers, we're going to, several $100 billion of CapEx each year will go into these machine learning based and AI based systems. And so we have hundreds of billions of dollars of IT systems that we're going to have to go build over the next several years.
I think the number's been put out there for all these companies, whether they are tech or just basic enterprise, ramping up and spending on AI is something like $350 billion. But let me tackle the hyperscalers first, meaning the 800-pound gorillas in the AI space who are desperate for your chips. Meta, Google, Microsoft, SoftBank. I would love to know how orders are filled, meaning who gets preference? I mean, does it go by who ordered first or by the size of the customer?
Well, if you don't place an order, it's hard for us to fulfill it. And so most of them have placed orders. We try to be fair with everyone so that they can all get their AI infrastructure up and running. We also make sure that their infrastructure is ready. And so between us and them, there's no sense shipping computers if the data center and the power and the readiness of the system is not there. And so we work very, very closely with all of our hyperscalers. We've been planning for this for some time. And I think at this point, everybody has stood up their AI infrastructure, the Grace Blackwell systems. I think OCI has shown pictures of it. Google has shown pictures of it. Dell and CoreWeave just showed a picture. I think it was last night, and Satya at his conference announced that they're going to have previews for their customers here pretty soon, and they've got their system up and running, and so everybody's really proud of the systems they've stood up, and we're all just racing to get there.
Yeah, and we're talking about hundreds of thousands of these, and people are dying to get their hands on them. Can I just get some clarity on the question about the overheating? This report over the weekend, there was in the information this report that said that some of these were overheating. Can you just tell me if that was an issue? If it's true, was it an issue basically with the Blackwell chip design, a rack problem, or was it simply that the data centers were not built to the right specs?
It's a non thing. It's probably somebody who heard somebody doing engineering, integrating our systems into their data centers. In the beginning, there are all kinds of engineering issues, but these are normal things. We're just doing engineering. We know that the Grace Blackwell systems work, and we know that all of the technology now works because we now demonstrated 4 of them standing up. We have lots of them working at our company. We have lots of them working within our customers' companies, and so we're very confident, and we're in good shape with Grace Blackwell production ramp. But it's still, we have thousands of engineers doing all kinds of things. So I'm not sure what they heard, but it's a non-thing.
In an age of rapid technological advancement, we are witnessing an era where futuristic concepts, once confined to the realms of fiction, are merging with reality at an astonishing pace. Imagine a world where every nuance of communication, whether it's early morning briefings or critical boardroom negotiations, effortlessly navigates through a network imbued with artificial intelligence, making interactions seamless and remarkably efficient. While such a notion might sound like a scene from a science fiction novel, it is swiftly becoming our reality, driven by path-breaking innovations from Nvidia and its visionary leader Jensen Huang. At a recently concluded, highly anticipated AI summit in Japan, Huang divulged a sweeping vision poised to transform the tech landscape. This transformation extends beyond Nvidia, influencing its strategic collaborator SoftBank and potentially redefining the entire technological fabric of Japan. During the summit, Huang intimated about an impending AI revolution, strategically anointing Nvidia as the nucleus of this transformative epoch. With robust alliances alongside influential entities such as SoftBank and luminaries like SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son, Nvidia is poised to make significant market disruptions. Nvidia's strategic initiatives and bold vision present an opportunity to usher in a new technological dawn, reshaping how industries utilize AI across various sectors. Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy.
Well, it's a long way from 32 years ago when you founded the company with just a few employees and a dream. And as you begin to really see this come to incredible fruition, at least when it comes to generative AI, I'm so interested to know about pricing. How do you view pricing? Because if you're having trouble, because you did say into few quarters for fiscal year 2026 that you would see some issues with filling these orders, how can you keep the price the same? And will it rise?
We always do pricing based on the value delivered. And so we're very rigorous with respect to the simulation of these AI factories. In a lot of ways, the way to think about this, Liz, is that here's this machinery, this big, huge machinery, and you apply energy to it. And what comes out of it is AI. We call it generative AI. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like generating electricity in the last industrial revolution. And there are all these machinery, these large machinery called AC generators, and they produce electricity. We're now producing this miracle called artificial intelligence.
You said that you're transforming, and AI is transforming every industry, every company out there, all around the world. And we see that. We definitely see that. But you have some of the loudest voices now in Silicon Valley. I'm thinking Mark Andreessen, the venture capitalist from Andreessen Horowitz, saying AI has hit a wall, it's plateaued, it can't go further right now. And he named 2 reasons. He said due to both the lack of enough GPUs and then the training data. It's almost like he was pointing the finger at Nvidia that you guys aren't getting these out quickly enough. What do you say to that?
Well, our demand is greater than our supply, and so we need to get more out. And so we work with thousands of startup companies, and they're called AI native companies. From the ground up, they're built to be an AI company. From the ground up, this is a company that would develop capabilities and new products and services that are made possible because of AI. And we're working with thousands of them, and it's hard to at this moment keep capacity and infrastructure available for every one of them. And so we're working super hard to get there as fast as we can, which is the reason why we're ramping Blackwell so hard. With respect to AI, there's a fair amount of discussion about scaling laws, and the scaling law basically says the larger the model, the more data that you train it with, and the more computing therefore you need, the more effective the AI becomes. And so that's we're kind of on our back foot with respect to the amount of demand that's out there, but we're running as fast as we can to get the supply out there.
Well, it feels like you're not on your back foot, that you are standing pretty tall and holding ground because you are able to just crush it on earnings, and your outlook is pretty impressive too. You talked about growing customer bases in India and obviously you will have a situation where you have to hold back on China depending on what the regulations are here in the United States. But I'm interested to know if you're hearing from the Middle East. They have had some real ambitions here.
Yeah, listen, in just about every single country, and it's sensible, they now realize that their nation's data, their language, whatever their the language happens to be, their language, their digital language encodes their nation and their people's knowledge, history, and culture. And they now realize that they have to take that digital data and turn it into their nation's intelligence, and that they can't wait for someone else to come do it for them, that they have to do it themselves. The success that we've enjoyed is largely in the United States, but over time and very quickly, whether it's in the West or in the East, we're going to see just about every single country jumping onto this AI revolution, this age of AI.
As we finish up, what do you say to people who are very concerned about this? You hear them and they believe that AI is going to turn us into digital slaves and that the machines will rise and control all of us. You've had these discussions before. What's your gut reaction to that? AI can do a lot of our tasks, but they can't do 100% of our jobs. That's the big idea. The big idea, the idea that AI would somehow do 100% of somebody's job is very, very unlikely and quite frankly impractical for any time near any time in the horizon. What is very likely is that AI will do 20, 30, 40% of 100% of the jobs in the world. So what that means is that AI is going to revolutionize and transform everybody's jobs. And it's really important that everybody should learn how to use AI. They're not going to lose their jobs to AI. They're going to lose their jobs if it happens. They're going to lose their jobs to someone who uses AI. And so that's the most practical way of thinking about it. And for the foreseeable future, that's absolutely going to be true. And jump on AI. I would encourage everybody to use it. And if you haven't had a chance to use ChatGPT, use Perplexity, use Gemini. These are incredible. Use Claude. These are incredible AIs. I use that every single day. Yes, I would imagine you do. Just don't replace newscasters and journalists, please, Jensen.
You're in great shape. You're in great shape, Liz. We need you.
Thank you very much.
The realm of artificial intelligence is in perpetual evolution, harmonizing pixels and data to reshape how we perceive reality. In this dynamic landscape, Nvidia continues asserting its dominance, unveiling its aspirations with remarkable finesse during the third quarter of its fiscal year. Against anticipated revenues of $32.5 billion, Nvidia surpassed expectations with a phenomenal $35.1 billion, a feat that underscores its place as more than just a revenue-exceeding entity. It embodies a dynamic force akin to a suspenseful twist in an AI narrative crafted with meticulous precision, continually outpacing predictions and astonishing analysts with its relentless pursuit of excellence. However, the excitement is not solely encapsulated in these astounding figures. At the AI Summit in Japan, Jensen Huang co-starred with none other than SoftBank's CEO Masayoshi Son, highlighting a critical partnership between two innovation powerhouses. SoftBank's audacious moves, epitomized by its acquisition of ARM Holdings, underscore its strategic foresight. Their shared anecdotes, seasoned with humor, about Huang's decision to decline Son's acquisition, offer added layers of intrigue, inviting contemplation of a tech world that might have been profoundly altered by such a union. But before we go any further, if you want to keep up with Nvidia's latest updates and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates.
So this is not a small company. This is one of the largest, in fact, the largest company. And it just put up a quarter where sales grew 94% and earnings grew over 100%. And they're guiding to a quarter where sales, yes, they're slowing down, but slowing down to a rate of over 70%. And when I look at what they are able to accomplish next year, we think they can grow over 50%. And I was just looking at the other, so-called Max 7. NVIDIA will probably grow 4 or 5 times that growth rate next year. And it's trading at less than 1 times earnings growth, whereas the average of those companies is trading at over 2 times earnings growth. So we think the numbers are exceptionally strong, but you're right that they were not able to come close to the so-called whisper expectations. I think part of it is they are just at the start of ramping their new Blackwell product. Supply is just starting to get going. But if I look at the usual range of beats they have versus their guidance, I think that'll probably get us pretty close to where people were expecting the numbers to come in. So I'm not worried. I think this is just quarterly noise, and this is to be expected in the growing pains of whenever they're launching a new product.
So,
the key is
so
that the demand
what do you think the disappointment is
strong.
here then?
Sorry, can you say that again?
I said, what do you think the disappointment is here? I mean, there was some...
I think the disappointment is that, the supply chain, is scrutinized very closely. It's followed by a lot of people. And every time the company reports, expectations continue to build up naturally for this size and what the stock has done. But there are always constraints when it comes to not just getting the supply, but actually building the products, getting them to customers. And what we have seen from NVIDIA over the last 2 years is that they are able to beat their own guidance by $2 to $2.5 billion consistently. Last time they guided $32.5 billion and they reported $35 billion. So that's why I'm not surprised to see them not exactly come to the high end of where the whisper expectations are. But if I look at the usual range of beats they have, we will come pretty close, I think, once they actually report the quarter. So I think this is more a case of expectations in a transitions quarter. It's nothing to do with the long-term fundamentals of the company.
And your sense about this Blackwell chip is it's just going to knock it out of the park, or you think it's going to? Is there anybody even in the vicinity competitively at this point?
No, I think they lead the pack for the reason that delivering this product is more than a chip, right? You have to first of all be able to put 72 of them in a single rack. You have to connect it with very high-speed optical and copper interconnects. Then you have to have a system and software level approach. Then you need millions of developers who know how to do something with it. And then you need to have a whole range of relationships and not only the supply chain, but with relationships with the enterprises, with the cloud companies. And I think that is unparalleled. The other thing to keep in mind is they are in an industry, large language models, where the technology is changing several times a year, right? And their ability to deliver a new product cycle, they have accelerated from 2 year to 1 year. Even that is not sufficient. So we think there's another few years of build out that is left to support this rapidly growing industry.
The project's implications extend well into diverse industries, promising far-reaching effects across sectors. Envision factories transitioning into AI-driven ecosystems, adept at diagnosing malfunctions and optimizing processes via intelligent sensors and cameras. Huang whimsically visualized a future where managers interact dynamically with factory networks, navigating operational challenges with a deft touch, thereby amplifying both efficiency and safety. These advancements foreshadow a future where AI is not merely a tool, but an integral part of the operational fabric, enhancing productivity and fostering innovation at every turn. Amidst this flurry of innovation, NVIDIA's momentum appears insurmountable. Huang envisions a harmonious existence of virtual and tangible realms, capturing the imagination of tech aficionados and cautiously hopeful investors. This excitement resonates across social media platforms, notably on Twitter, amplifying a shared enthusiasm and reinforcing NVIDIA's stature as a fundamental pillar in growth-oriented investment portfolios. The potential of NVIDIA's AI endeavors garners attention worldwide, drawing interest from industries seeking to integrate cutting-edge technologies to stay competitive in an ever-evolving market. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
This is one of those situations where whatever you can get from them, you'll take. That can be very stark because you may not be able to get the first-rank stuff. I think that there are multiple customers. Look, I'm going to step back for this in a second. I've never seen anything like this. There are multiple customers who would buy everything they have. When I say everything they have, I don't mean like, hey, you know what, I really want some. I mean like, I will take everything you have. And the customers that we're talking about are customers that we all know. And they are not doing it in order to be able to say, because the other guy may have it. There's going to be a winner-take-all, loser-take-none aspect. But the main thing is that everybody has something that they feel they can make 5 to 1 on. You know, I'll pay you $40,000. I'll get I'll make 200,000. And David, when I say I've never seen anything like it, what I mean is that this is a different order of company that we've ever seen in our years together, because it's really reinventing. No, it's not. It's creating a whole new industry. And in order to understand it, you have to do things that you've never done before. Like, for instance, I put in, Jensen says something that's rather, I don't mean to go on too long, but Jensen's talking about something that he likes, a Google product that he's just constantly on. I mean, a good example.
Same thing that Benioff said the other day.
I talked to Mark about it. Absolutely. And what you do is, like, you input, tell me what's so great about this conference call. And, here it is. I mean, I've got it.
Tell me.
This is it.
Okay.
Well, all we asked, this is Jeff Marks. We put in, give us the highlights. This is the product that Jensen said he loves to talk to.
Oh, you used the Google product to actually go over the conference call.
Well, he was using the living daylights out of it.
Because thank you, Carl, because I used the living daylights out of it, so I did it. And I got 5 pages of just the quick distillation. If someone said, pick your best 5 pages. I don't mean to wax too authoritatively on this. I will say this, that when the stock was at 140, 141 this morning at 3:30, I was going to town on whatever they call it now.
We noticed.
Just saying, listen, what are you, clowns? It's just short-selling clowns with 100 and 200 shares. Because this thing is not anything I've ever seen.
And, of course, what you were using from Google is generating what it does on their.
Yeah, I did. It's like kind of a hall of mirrors. But
right.
When I spoke to the company after for about a half hour, and what they're talking about. First of all, the story that came out this weekend about burning too hot. They used some words that I was surprised. They said it's a lie. Now that's hard. That's where you go to jail when you lie about financials, journalists, whatever. It's a lie. I would not want to commit a lie against this company. There was no heat issue.
You don't believe that because they deny it. So you believe them, and you don't. I mean, I
believe.
Even you said there are probably people within the company talking to the information.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. But if you go to a reseller, a wrapper, a packager, of which there are 3, right? Supermicro and Dell and HPE, they did not report any overheating. So it's entirely possible that you bought something, you got something, and you souped it up and you overheated it.
I see.
But David, it's a serious charge to say that story was a lie and they couldn't do anything about it because they were in quiet. I do not want to be affiliated with a lie, and anyone else who's affiliated with it, I think, is suspect.
Yeah, no, you never feel good as a journalist when a company calls you out in that way.
No,
That's
you
for
don't.
Sure, and it's something you want to avoid.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the actual quarter itself and what it means for the future. $37.5 billion in revenues in terms of guidance for fiscal fourth quarter of 25.
Right.
I mean, let's just talk a little math here. Obviously, yes, we've never seen anything like it. What do they do? $94 billion in revenue. They're on a run rate of over $100 billion.
A lot of revenue.
A 94%, increase. First time in 5 quarters, so they didn't have more than a triple-digit increase in
I know, it's very
revenue
disappointing.
growth.
There were clowns who were actually like clowns. I don't mean that. I mean chowderheads.
But your point is simply the demand for Blackwell is undiminished. It will take this product throughout its ramp. There will be endless demand for it.
Yes, and then every year, they're going to get back on every year. They'll have Rubin, which is much more powerful than this. But
Rubin's next?
Yeah, from Philly, Rubin.
Got it.
For astute investors, NVIDIA's recent accomplishments, underpinned by strategic alliances, validate its role as a torchbearer in the ongoing AI revolution. Despite a temporary dip in stock following the record-setting quarter, the outlook remains significantly promising. NVIDIA's current AI initiatives foreshadow exponential advancements, especially in industries just beginning to harness AI's vast potential. This trajectory is not merely about short-term gains. It highlights NVIDIA's strategic influence and ability to pave the way for a future enriched by AI. The pertinent question lingers. As NVIDIA navigates through this thrilling phase of innovation, will its breakthroughs catalyze broader industrial evolution, or will competitors swiftly rise to bridge the gap? This narrative remains compelling and continually evolving, inviting every insightful investor to delve deep into these intriguing developments and engage with the resulting dialogues actively. As NVIDIA continues to innovate and push the boundaries of what AI can achieve, their journey presents a captivating storyline that carries immense potential to redefine what's possible within the tech industry. And finally, if you would like to know what companies like NVIDIA have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen.